Hi everybody, this is Kevin, and welcome back to another comic book review. And today we're going to take a look at Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Batman Hush, which is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, with artwork by Dexter Soy. And this book came out a few weeks ago, but I didn't get a chance to read it right away. Because, well, you can see from the spine here, it's a square-bound book. It's not a black label comic, but it's a, it's $5.99, and there's limited ads in it. And it's an anthology. It says #1, but it's just a one-shot. Last year, they did these Tales of the Dark Multiverse stories, where they kind of bring new blood into the classic storylines. With this one, Batman Hush, they did, I think, Dark Knight Returns or Nightfall or something last year. And this book was terrific, man. I thought it was really good. And I'd heard great things from Philip Kennedy Johnson. He's actually doing a limited run series with DC Black Label called The Last God, which features no DC characters. It's like a fantasy epic or something. And I've heard good things about it, but they're on like issue 10 or 11. And I think it's going to end with issue 12, so I'm just going to wait for the trade at this point. But yeah, I was very impressed by this book right here. So obviously Batman Hush is the classic Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale. Sorry, Jeph Loeb and Jim Lee. Tim Sale is the frequent collaborator of Jeph Loeb from all the Batman books they did. And this guy's sort of telling you this is the dark multiverse, so it's not real. And, giving you some background on Batman Hush. If you read that book, I think it's like 12 issues. It was sort of Jim Lee's debut with DC Comics, and it was him drawing all the characters. Batman fighting his rogues. He fights Superman at one point. And then Clayface actually appears as Jason Todd, who at that point, Jason Todd was dead after death in the family. And that was their setup to bring in Jason back in Under the Red Hood. And then also they introduced this character named Thomas Elliot, who grew up being best friends with Bruce Wayne. And it turned out that he was actually the villain Hush, right there. But this is a new spin on the story. And essentially, when Bruce and Thomas were friends, they went to see the Mark of Zorro together with their parents. And well, on the night the Waynes were murdered, he was with Thomas and the Elliots. And the Elliots took Bruce Wayne in at that point. So he was raised by them instead of Alfred. And it sort of made a dark turn in Bruce's life. So it cuts to the future now, the future Gotham. And Dexter Soy, he's a terrific artist. I've praised, he did Red Hood and the Outlaws. And he really draws women very well. If you want to check that out, you see how great of a job he does with Artemis. And you see here, you got Dina Drake with Jason Todd. And the new founding members of Gotham are Harvey Dent with Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. And of course, the dynamic duo up here is Thomas Elliot and Talia al Ghul, the lovely Talia. So they have their little dynasty here. And Thomas Elliot is now in charge of Wayne Enterprises. And they mentioned that President March, that's Lincoln March of the Court of Owls. And basically, Gotham has become its own city-state. And Lincoln March is the president of Gotham. And Thomas Elliot is one of the high-ranking senators. And they have the Gotham Special Forces here. They're military police. And there's a Gotham State media. And all sorts of lockdowns going on. And, of course, the average citizens of Gotham aren't standing for it. So they're rebelling. And then I think this is like Arkham Asylum. But he's speaking to the Scarecrow here, who's one of the doctors in charge. And I think they either call him Jack Napier or the Joker. I think this guy symbolizes the Joker. And he's singing out the Buddy Bat and Gotham Town and, all sorts of foreshadowing. And essentially, the Scarecrow brings Thomas here to the, corpse of Bruce Wayne. And they're doing tests on him and checking his blood and all sorts of things. And then all of a sudden, the singing stops and, the lights turn out and all sorts of sirens go on. And pop! And then the evil Batman Hush appears. That's essentially, it's the Batman. And this is like the new 52 Batman Beyond costume with the Hush tape, like the Mummy. And essentially they're making you think that this is Bruce Wayne, who is lying there as a corpse. And, Thomas is in his, ship there on his way to Safe Haven when he sees out of the corner of his eye the Batman Hush. And then, boom, incoming! And it crash lands here to where you see Barbara Gordon here leading the new version of the Outsiders and all the rebellion against the Gotham Gotham Special Forces here. And she says, "That's Thomas Elliot's ship, one of the architects of our corrupt, broken city. He's the one who murdered my father, the last good cop in Gotham." And you can see for outsiders here, you have Tim Drake as Robin. You have Cassandra Cain there, and they're all sort of wearing outfits that are similar to their classic attire, but a new spin on it with the dark multiverse. And then the Gray Sun shows up. That's Dick Grayson, obviously, Nightwing, and he's the private security of Lincoln March, the president, and has been asked to look after Thomas Elliot because, he's probably like second or third in command when it comes to Gotham politics. So they're able to apprehend Barbara Gordon here. They start interrogating her, and she's like, I'm not going to speak. I'm not saying anything. And Dick is asking her about the missile that was fired at Thomas Elliot's ship there. And she's like, I know nothing of the sort. And they begin questioning Jason Todd, and of course he's not budging because, he's also a high-ranking member of Gotham as well. You see with the social elites here in the beginning that he's there with Dina Drake and Harvey Dent, the Penguin. So he's not budging either. And it turns out that he's working with the League of Assassins with Talia al Ghul, and is able to betray Elliot here. And the evil Batman Hush shows up again, ready to seek vengeance. And he really hasn't said much yet, and he's battling Dick right there. And artwork's terrific, man. I really haven't praised the artwork a whole lot. I've just been talking about the story here. But it's so good. And then, so Elliot's taking refuge in the penthouse, and Talia al Ghul is like, oh, see? I control the League of Assassins. I betrayed you. So, and of course, her security there turns on Elliot. And what happens is Elliot goes back to Wayne Manor, where he sees the Gray Sun here. And they start talking, trying to get answers, when the floorboards cave in, and Thomas falls in. He finds Alfred sitting there. And he says, I think you made a mistake coming here, Master Thomas. And all of a sudden, the lights come on. You see all these bird cages with all sorts of other characters there, including, I think one of them is Jeremiah Arkham and all sorts of others. And then the Batman Hush shows up again. He says, I know what you did, Tommy. All those years ago, your family driver, what you promised him to kill your own parents, and how it went wrong. Who are you? Who else would I be, Tommy? Shriek! Everyone's dead but us. The Waynes in that alley, the Elliots on that road, the driver killed in his cell, even the decent cop. You're not Bruce. When your parents took me in, your mother said the boys will finally get to be real brothers. How Dr. Crane laughed when I told him that story. The idea that I was ever a brother to you, who took everything from me. You died. You weren't my only visitor in Arkham today. Alfred was always with me. So, essentially, Alfred was there to bring him back. And they used all the samples of all the the mob people that he killed to bring him back to life. And essentially he kills Thomas Elliot here, and the outsiders are able to seek justice for Jim Gordon. And then I don't know, they changed the artist here. You see right here where it says Dexter Soy's the main artist, and then you have Sergio Davila, and he sort of not really a half-assed, but he sort of rushed at the end, rushed conclusion to all the characters here, the Waynes. And then it shows Jason and Talia and all sorts of other stuff. So, yeah, I thought this was a fun read. The artwork was terrific. Lots of cool stuff. Nice one-shot, nice self-contained story. And I thought it was good. There's a few of the other Dark Multiverse books coming out. I think 5 of them. And they have a trade paperback of the other ones that they put out last year. So be sure to check them out. I'm sure they're all pretty good. They're all top-tier creative teams. So thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know your thoughts down below, and stay tuned for more comic book reviews coming soon. Everybody have a great day.